Class Concourse. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Beautiful. My name is Dr. Marjorie Dieg, and I want to welcome you to the 2025 Black History Month Oratorical Competition. I'm an assistant principal at Penndale Middle School, and I'm also one of the tri-chair members of the North Penn School District Goal 4 Cultural Proficiency, Equity, and Inclusion Executive Committee. Last night, I had the honor to see these students perform during our dress rehearsal, and I promise you that you are in for a wonderful treat. Before we get started, I would like to take a moment to extend a very special thank you to Mr. Dave DiValentino and the Navy Jazz Combo for their amazing performance earlier in the lobby. You can give them a round of applause. At this time, I would like to take a moment to introduce our judges for the evening. I will be reading an excerpt from their biographies, which you can find in our program. Gia James. Gia James's journey through life has been rich with experiences that shaped her into an advocate for adoptees and a voice for personal discovery. She holds a degree from Carnegie Mellon University and has enjoyed a diverse career in technology and real estate before authorizing her memoir, A Place Called There. Gia is also an active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and president of the Omega Zeta Omega chapter in Bucks County. Gia James. Lisa Angeletti. Lisa Angeletti is a USA Today best-selling novelist who has written for the New York Times, Gannett News Service, Publishers Weekly, and Today's Black Woman. She earned her bachelor's in journalism from Howard University and her MSW from New York University. She serves on the board of the Cheltenham Education Foundation and is a member of the Independent Book Publishers Association and Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, a public service organization. Lisa Angeletti. Dr. Pamela Hart. Dr. Pamela Hart is the Director of Education and Equity in the North Penn School District. She began her teaching career in the Upper Dublin School District and served as an elementary principal for 21 years in 3 districts in Montgomery County. Dr. Hart holds an undergraduate degree in elementary education from Penn State University and earned a master's in education and a doctor of philosophy in curriculum and instruction from the University of Washington, Seattle. Dr. Pamela Hart. Jennifer Koch. Jennifer Koch serves as the director of the North Wales Area Library, bringing a rich academic background and diverse personal experience to her role. She holds a master's degree in library sciences with a focus in archival studies from Drexel University, a bachelor's in history from Albright College, and associates in anthropology from Reading Area Community College. She works as an archivist at Bethany Children's Home and serves as an aquatics director and varsity and age group diving coach. She's passionate about fostering educational partnerships within Montgomery County. Jennifer Koch. Last, a few housekeeping details. Bathrooms are located directly outside of the auditorium, straight ahead, and also in the K-Pod concourse on the left. If for any reason you need to use the restroom, we ask that you please wait in between performances. And now, without further ado, I would like you to give a really, really big round of applause for our Masters of Ceremonies for this evening, Mr. Robel Casahun and Mr. Malachi Nisbet.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robel Casahun.
And I'm Malachi Nisbet.
And we are stoked to present you with the Black Oratorical Competition. Hey, Malachi, how do you feel about the Black Oratorical Competition?
Personally, I'm honored and thrilled that all these students are so brave and courageous enough to get on this big stage in front of all of you and perform all of these things. I'm just so excited to be here tonight.
Me too, Malachi. We have the honor of introducing the North Wales Elementary School Chorus, who will be performing
The Black National Anthem, also known as Lift Up Your Voice and Sing, by James Weldon Johnson.
So can we please give them a warm welcome?
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let us resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Ooh, sorry. Can we give another applause to the North Wales Choir for that amazing rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing? All right. So now we are going to start with Group 1, which is our 3rd through 5th graders. From Gwen Nor Elementary, who is in 3rd grade, can we have Vinny DiMatteo?
Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us, the spin masters and negative ad peddlers who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there's not a liberal America and a conservative America. There's the United States of America. There's not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states, Red states for Republican, blue states for Democrats. Well, I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the red states, and we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states. We coach Little League in the blue states and have gay friends in the red states. We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America.
Wow, Vinny was on point. Following up, we have Tanvi Veladandi, third grader from North Wales Elementary.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tanvi. I'm a third grader who goes to North Wales Elementary School. And today, I would like to honor amazing leaders and heroes of Black history. When I think of Black history, I think of courage, strength, and belief, what can make the world a better place. People like Martin Luther King Jr., who dreamed of the world being treated equally. He taught us to stand up for what is right with love and peace. I can't forget Rosa Parks. She told us one person can say a big difference but just by saying no. She told us to stand up for what is right. She didn't just sit on the bus seat, she took stand for what is right. I can't forget Harriet Tubman, the brave woman who led to so many freedoms. She never gave up, even the journey was hard and dangerous. These heroes teach us we can all be leaders, we can all be heroes, and we can help others just like they did. Now, because the heroes just before us, now I can dream big, I can be whoever I want to be, and I can help others just like they did. Let's remember them not just in February, but every day, by being kind, brave, and strong, just like they were. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanvi. You did a great job. Now, can we have Finley Berg?
Hi, my name is Finley. I'm 9 years old and I'm a fourth grader at Gwynnor, and today I'm going to recite an excerpt from Dr. Mae Jemison's commencement speech to the 2024 graduating class of Berkeley School of Education. We have the ability to be hopeful. We have the ability to have a vision of inclusion and self-responsibility. And I hope that no matter what work you do, you never forget to look up from time to time. Look up from the device. Every language, the word look up. It's not just the physical act. It also has this act of something better ahead that's focused. So when deadlines loom, or someone is sick, or the bills need to be paid, injustice looms, it's easy to get caught up and forget who you are, why you're here, and what's most important to you. If you ask most people what they want, they will probably say something about being happy. Yet we expend so much energy and invest so much time being unhappy about the food we're eating, the way someone is talking to us, how we look, and how hard things are at work. We forget that happy is not something that is just given to us by others. It is a choice we get to make every single day. So look up at that sky, the clouds beyond the sun to the moon, the stars when you need to recharge your spirit. Let the gravity of this planet Earth give you a hug when you're feeling low. Look up and remember what inspired you, why you're doing this in the first place. Because if you can keep that sparkle in your eye, the dancing energy of aliveness and possibility long past this day, you'll be well on your way to a magical life. A life of love, service, connection, and meaning. A life that will contribute. Thank you.
Finley killed it. Next up, we have fourth grader Gian Devdara from Gwyn Nor Elementary.
Hi, my name is Gian Deotera. I'm a fourth grader from Gwyn Nor Elementary School, and today I'm delighted to present a poem called The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. I hope you enjoy. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and the notions of what just is isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours, before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to forge a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, committed to all cultures, colors, and conditions of man. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. And thou forever be victorious, not because we'll never again know defeat, but because we'll never again sow division. If we were to live to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promise to Glade, the hill we climb, only if we dare it. Because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. In this truth, in this faith we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the hires of such a terrifying hour, but within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while we once asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there's always light, only if we're brave enough to see it, only if we're brave enough to be it. Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing rendition of The Hill We Climb. Now, can we have Arushi Desai from Montgomery Elementary, and she's in 4th grade.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Arushi Desai, and I'm a 4th grader at Montgomery Elementary. Today I'm going to read an excerpt of Fannie Lou Hamer's famous speech, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." She delivered this speech at the 1964 Democratic National Convention. I chose this speech because it reminds us freedom is not given to us. We must stand up and fight for it. All my life, I've been sick and tired. Now I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was just a sharecropper's daughter, working in the field since I was 6. They told me I wasn't good enough. They told me I didn't matter. But I knew better. I walked miles and miles through heat and dust just to register to vote, because I knew I had the same rights as anybody else, to be free, to be equal. And what did they do? They beat me. They jailed me. They tried to break me. But they did not. They will not. They cannot. Because I stood up, and I'll keep standing, not just for myself, but for the rights of all of us, my people, my community. All of this struggle is because we simply want to register to vote, to become first-class citizens in this country, and to be treated with the dignity we all deserve. If the Freedom Democratic Party is not placed now, I question America. Is this the America, the land of the free? Is this the country where we have to live with fear? Is this the country where we're forced to sleep our phones off the hook just because our lives are threatened every single day? Is this the America where we're punished for wanting to live as decent human beings? I did not go to the courthouse and see the registrar, but I did go to jails. I was beaten so badly that I did not know I would survive, but I stayed alive. They tried to break my body, but they could not break my spirit. My will was stronger than their violence. And I'm here today to tell you that we are people, and we are not going to let anybody push us down. We are standing up for our rights, and we will not be silenced. We will not go back. We will not retreat. We will not accept second-class citizenship. I don't want just a piece of justice. I don't want just a slice of freedom. I want the whole thing. Freedom for all, justice for all, and equality for all. Because we're all human, and we all deserve respect and dignity. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Thank you.
What a breathtaking performance by Arushi. Next up, we have a special duet, both in the 4th grade from North Wells Elementary, Lainey Strobel and Liliana Hamill.
Good evening. I'm Lainey. And I'm Liliana, and we both go to North Wells Elementary in the 4th grade. Tonight we will be reciting a poem, No Stuff, about Harriet Tubman by Eloise Greenfield. Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing either, didn't come to this world to be no slave, and wasn't gonna stay one either. Farewell, she sang to her friends one night. She was mighty sad to leave them, but she ran away that dark, hot night, ran looking for her freedom. She ran to the woods, and she ran through the woods with the slave catcher right behind her. She kept on going till she got to the north, where those mean men couldn't find her.
19 times she went back south to save 300 others. She ran for her freedom 19 times to save black sisters and brothers.
Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing either, didn't come to this world to be no slave, and wasn't going to stay one either.
And wasn't going to stay one either. That was No Stuff about Harriet Tubman by Eloise Greenfield.
What an inspiring performance. Trying to get me to take no stuff too. Now we will have Harshini Nagamangalam from Gwinnett Square Elementary in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Krishna Harshini Nagamangalam, and I'm in 5th grade at Gwinnett Square Elementary School. Today, I'll be reciting a poem by Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter and twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with glue? 'Cause I walk like I got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Thank you.
Wow, that was astonishing from Harshini. Next up, we have 5th grader from Culp Elementary, Anishka Patel.
Good evening. My name is Anishka Patel, and I'm in 5th grade at AM Culp Elementary School. And tonight, I will be reciting excerpts from the speech, Keep Hope Alive, by Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson delivered this speech at the Democratic National Convention in 1988. Young America, hold your head high now. We can win. We must not lose you to drugs, violence, premature pregnancy, suicide, cynicism, pessimism, and despair. We can win. Wherever you are tonight, I challenge you to hope and to dream. Don't submerge your dreams. Exercise above all else. Even on drugs, dream of the day that you are drug-free. Even in the gutter, dream of the day that you will be up on your feet again. You must never stop dreaming. Face reality, yes, but don't stop with the way things are.
Dream of things as they ought to be. Dream. Face pain. But love, hope, faith, and dreams will help you rise above the pain. Use hope and imagination as weapons of survival and progress. But you keep on dreaming, young America. Dream of peace. Peace is rational and reasonable. War is irrational in this age and unwinnable. Dream of teachers who teach for life and not for a living. Dream of doctors concerned more about public health than private wealth. Dream of lawyers more concerned about justice than a judgeship. Dream of preachers more concerned about prophecy than profiteering. Dream on the high road with sound values. Never surrender, young America. Go forward. America must never surrender to malnutrition. We can feed the hungry and clothe the naked, but we must never surrender. We must go forward. We must never surrender to illiteracy. Invest in our children. Never surrender. Go forward. We must never surrender to inequality. Women cannot compromise the ERA or comparable worth. Women are making 60 cents on the dollar to what a man makes. Women cannot buy meat cheaper. Women cannot buy bread cheaper. Women cannot buy milk cheaper. Women deserve to get paid for the work that you do. It's right and it's fair. Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. Suffering breeds character. Character breeds faith. And in the end, faith will not disappoint. You must not surrender. You may or may not get there, but just know that you're qualified. And you hold on and hold out. We must never surrender, and America will get better and better. Keep hope alive, keep hope alive, keep hope alive. Thank you.
Let's keep hope alive, and let's hope that this new generation is more brave than we all are. Can we have Sanvi Sanji from Montgomery Elementary in grade 5?
Hi, my name is Sanvi Sanji, and I'm in 5th grade at Montgomery Elementary. Today, I will be reciting a short speech made by famous tennis player Serena Williams. When I look back on the path it took me to get where I am today, I think about the little girl with a big dream of the future. And in so many ways, I had no concept of what I was aiming for, but I knew it in my heart, and I trusted my instincts. My goal started out as a little girl to win the US Open, and I just won. That was a big goal for me, for a girl from Compton. So, at the tender age of 3, I began my journey. I was blinded by passion as I practiced in Compton for all those years. Later, one thing always remained the same, that once you set your goals, always aim higher. I have to say that hard work and dedication are the cornerstones of success. And if you believe in yourself, even when others are doubting you and society is pushing you down, it's always so important to have that self-belief in yourself. I stand here today, and I can tell you, I know what it's like to be overlooked as a woman, as a Black woman, but I never let anyone define my potential by my gender or my color. I continue to raise my voice in hopes of breaking barriers and making it easier for those coming up after me. And one thing I truly, truly believe is Success does not define a person. It's how successful you can be after you fall. A lot of the people that truly inspire me are not wildly successful, but wildly successful after they fell, and then they came back to being super successful again. I know my first time as a professional athlete, I lost in less than an hour to someone who I don't think anyone in this room can remember, but I never stopped to keep trying or believing that I could reach my goals. The same thing as I started my fashion company. I wasn't successful instantly. Somewhere in between winning Wimbledon's and winning the US Opens, I never stopped believing. The art of failure for me is not limited to athletes or entrepreneurs or even seasoned executives. It's open to everyone in life, and a big part of the journey is taking a fall and dusting yourself off. But I would like to say that above all, it takes a tremendous amount of humility to be great. In my own life, I'm happy for everyone's successes, even when they're my competitors, and honestly, I find inspiration from their accomplishments. I see the success that thrives around us today is there to give something that we can all push each other and set our goals higher than the day before. Thank you.
Wow, Sanvi adding another magnificent performance this beautiful evening. Can we please welcome up Elliot Slayman from 5th grade, North Wells Elementary.
Hello everyone, my name is Elliot Slayman and I'm from North Wells Elementary School in 5th grade. I'm going to be reading In This Place, an American lyric by Amanda Gorman. There's a poem in this place, in the footfalls, in the halls, in the quiet beat of the seats. It is here at the curtain of day where America writes a lyric you must whisper to say. There's a poem in this place, in the heavy grace, the lined face of this noble building, collections burned and reborn twice. There's a poem in Boston's Copley Square where protest chants tear through the air like sheets of rain, where love of the many swallows hatred of the few. There's a poem in Charlottesville where tiki torches string a ring of flame tight round the wrists of night, where men so white they gleam blue seem like statues, where men heap the long wax burning even higher, where heather higher blooms forever in a meadow of resistance. There's a poem in the great sleeping giant of Lake Michigan, defiantly raising its big blue head to Milwaukee and Chicago, a poem begun long ago, blazed into frozen soil, strutting upward in a glow. There's a poem in Florida, in East Texas, where streets swell into a nexus of rivers, cows afloat like mottled buoys in the brown, where courage is now so common that 23-year-old Jesus Contreras rescues people from floodwaters. There's a poem in Los Angeles, yawning wide as the Pacific tide, where a single mother swelters in a windowless classroom, teaching black and brown students in Watts to spell out their thoughts so her daughter might write this poem for you. There's a lyric in California where thousands of students march for blocks, undocumented and unafraid, where my friend Rosa finds the power to blossom in deadlock, her spirit the bedrock of her community. How could this not be her city, su nación, our country, our America, our American lyric to write? A poem by the people, the poor, the Protestant, the Muslim, the Jew, the native, the immigrant, the black, the brown, the blind, the brave, the undocumented and undeterred, the woman, the man, the non-binary, the white, the trans, the ally to all of the above and more. Tyrants fear the poet. Now that we know it, we can't blow it. We owe it to show it, not slow it, although it hurts to sow it when the world skirts below it. Hope, we must bestow it like a wick in the poet so it can grow, lit, bringing with it stories to rewrite. The story of a Texas city depleted but not defeated. A history written that need not be repeated. A nation composed but not yet completed. There's a poem in this place, a poem in America, a poet in every American who rewrites this nation, who tells a story worthy of being told on this minnow of an earth, who breathes hope into a palimpsest of time. There's a poet in every American who there's a place where this poem dwells. It is here, it is now, in the yellow song of dawn's bell, where we write an American lyric we are just beginning to tell. Thank you.
What a great job. Now we will have Danielle Shalola from Northbridge School in grade 5.
My name is Danielle, and today I will be doing Ain't I a Woman speech by Sojourner Truth. Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women of the North, all talking about rights, the white man will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this here talking about? That man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and to have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helped me into carriages or over mud piles or give me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. I have plounched and planted and gathered into bonds, and no man could heed me. And ain't I a woman? I could work as much and eat as much as a man when I could get it, and bear the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Then they talk about this thing in the head. What's this they call it? Intellect. That's it, honey. What's this got to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights? If my cup won't hold but a pint and yours holds a quart, would you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? that little man in black there? He says that women can't have as much rights as men, 'cause Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. And if the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down, these women ought to turn it back and have it right side up again. And if they ask them to do it, the men better let them. Obliged to you for hearing me. Now, old Sir Jonah Truth ain't got nothing more to say. Thank you.
Wow, ain't she a woman? Can we please give an applause to Group 1, grades 3 through 5th. Next up, we have Group 2, grades 6 through 8th. Our first act will be by Abrielle Thurville-Villicott, 6th grade from Culp Elementary.
Hi, my name's Abrielle. I'm in 6th grade at Aim Culp Elementary School, and today I'm delighted to present It's Okay to Fail by Barack Obama. Every single one of you have something you're good at. Every single one of you have something to offer, and you have a responsibility to yourself to discover what that is. That's what the opportunity of an education can provide. And no matter what you do in your life, I guarantee that you are going to need an education to do it. Do you want to be a doctor, a teacher, an architect? Well, you can't just drop out of school and get into a good job. You've got to work for it. You've got to train for it. And you've got to learn for it. Because the truth is, being successful is hard. You won't love every subject you learn. You won't click with every teacher. And not every homework assignment will seem completely relevant at this minute. That's okay. Some of the most successful people are the ones who've had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. Her first book was rejected 12 times until it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. But he once said, "I have failed over and over again. And that is why I succeed." You see, no one is born being good at things. You become good at things through hard work. You don't hit the note the first time you sing a song. You've got to practice. It's the same with your schoolwork. You might have to do a math problem a few times to get it right. Do a few drafts of paper till it's good enough to hand in, or read something over a couple times till you fully understand it. So today, I want to ask you, what are your contributions going to be? What problems are you going to solve? What discoveries will you make? Your families and teachers are doing everything they can to make sure you have the education that you need to answer these questions. But you have to do your part too. I expect you to put your best effort into everything you do, and I expect great things from each and every one of you. So don't quit and never give up, because I know that you can do it.
We can all do our part. Now, can we have from Montgomery Elementary, Rashmi Sankar in grade 6.
Hello, my name is Rashmi Shankar, and I'm a 6th grader at Montgomery Elementary. Today I'm presenting a wonderful poem about persisting and rising above the hate to be yourself. I bring to you now, And Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt. But still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you so beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high. Still, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head, lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Oh, don't you take it awful hard, just 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may even kill me with your hatefulness. But still, just like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, and I rise. Thank you.
Does she offend you guys? I like that powerful tone from Rashmi Shankar. Next up, in grade 6 from North Wells Elementary, we have Anushka Pradeep Kumar.
Good evening, everyone. I am Anushka Pradeep Kumar. I'm a 6th grader from North Wales Elementary School, and tonight I'm going to be reciting the poem, A Brave and Startling Truth by Maya Angelou. She recited this poem in June 1995 for the 50th anniversary commemoration of the United Nations. This poem explores the dueling powers of mankind. Humanity may be able to destroy one another, but it also has the power to create peace and a world free from violence. Ladies and gentlemen, a brave and startling truth. We, this people, on a small and lonely planet, traveling through casual space, past aloof stars across the wave and different suns, to a destination where all signs tell us it is possible and imperative that we learn a brave and startling truth. And when we come to it, to the day of peacemaking, when we release our fingers from the fists of hostility and allow the pure air to cool our palms,
When we come to it, when the curtain falls on the minstrel show of hate, and faces suited with scorn are scrubbed clean, when battlefields and coliseum no longer rake our unique and particular sons and daughters, up with the bruised and bloody grass to lie in identical plots in foreign soil. When the rapacious storming of the churches, when the screaming racket in the temples have ceased, when the pennants are waving gaily, when the banners of the world tremble stoutly in the good, clean breeze. When we come to it, when the rifles fall from our shoulders, and children dress their dolls in flags of truce, when landmines of death have been removed, and the aged can walk into evenings of peace. When religious rituals not perfumed by the incense of burning flesh, and childhood dreams are not kicked awake by nightmares of abuse. When we come to it, then we will confess that not the pyramids with their stones set in mysterious perfection, nor the gardens of Babylon hanging as eternal beauty in our collective memory, not the Grand Canyon kindled into delicious color by western sunsets, nor the Danube flowing its blue soul into Europe, not the sacred peak of Mount Fuji stretching to the rising sun, neither Father Amazon nor Mother Mississippi, who, without favor, nurture all creatures in the depths and on the shores. These are not the only wonders of the world. When we come to it, we, this people, on this minuscule and kithless globe, who reach daily for the bomb, the blade, and the dagger, yet who petition in the dark for tokens of peace. We, this people, on this mote of matter, in whose mouths abide such cankerous words, which challenge our very existence. Yet out of those same mouths can come songs of such exquisite sweetness that the heart falters in its labor, and the body is quieted into awe. Out of such chaos, such contradiction, we learn that we are neither devils nor divines. We, this people, on this small and drifting planet, whose hands can strike with such abandon that in a twinkling life is sapped from the living, yet those same hands can touch with such healing, irresistible tenderness that the haughty neck is happy to bow and the proud back is glad to bend. When we come to it, we, this people, on this wayward floating body, created on this earth, of this earth, have the power to fashion for this earth a climate in which every man and every woman can live freely, without sanctimonious piety, without crippling fear. When we come to it, we must confess that we are the possible, we are the miraculous, the true wonder of this world. That is when, and only when, we come to it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now we will have Ariana Vu from Northwells Elementary in 6th grade.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ariana Vu, and I'm a 6th grader at North Wales Elementary. Tonight, I will be presenting the speech, Ain't I a Woman, by Sojourner Truth, delivered in 1851 at the Women's Rights Convention in Ohio. Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North, all talking about rights, the men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this here talking about? That man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and to have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could head me. And ain't I a woman? I could work as much and eat as much as a man when I could get it, and bear the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Then they talk about this thing in the head. What's this they call it now? Intellect. That's it, honey. That's it. What's that got to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights? If my cup won't hold but a pint and yours holds a quart, wouldn't you be mean to not let me have my little half measure full? Then, that little man in black there, he says that women can't have as much rights as men, 'cause Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn this world upside down, then these women and these women together ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again. And now they're asking to do it. The men better let them. Obliged to you for hearing me. And now, old Sojourner ain't got nothing more to say. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to recite Sojourner Truth. Thank you.
Wow, I guess there's two women now. Wow, great job by Ariana Vu. Next up, we have Jacqueline Sagaria, 7th grade from Pembroke Middle School.
Good evening, my name is Jacqueline Sagaria, and I'm a 7th grader at Pembroke Middle School. Today, I'll be reciting the poem, We the People, by Amanda Gorman. We the people live in less than a perfect union that accuses the vulnerable and never the top class and race. When children are illegal and intolerance bans humans, I wonder who we the people are in the first place. We the people meant all lives matter, but are white lives living a coincidence when if you're not male or pale, you get destroyed for demonstrating dissidence? But still, we rise up, advocate and activate with the people's diligence. Let's speak names to we the people so they are not lost in executive orders lines, to protect them from the prick of tweet, pen, bullet, or steeple. Sturdy our spines to keep making signs and reading the signs. It's hectic, apocalyptic, they're skeptics. But we can be united. For what makes America great is diversity and democracy reignited. In excitement, they call for an indictment. But I think 4 years is far too far-sighted. What can the enlightened do now for the belighted so wrongs are righted? We the people are brave enough to love this country's creed. We the people love this country enough to question its misdeeds. We the people question enough to build upon this foundation. We the people erect an improved hilltop of a nation, invisible by where we come from or who we are born. We the people are those who let freedom ring. So no matter how you love, talk, pray, or mourn, this America too is ours, ours to build and ours to sing. Thank you.
From Pembroke Middle School in grade 7, we have Mukund Manikandan.
Hello, my name is Mukund Manikandan. I'm a 7th grader at Pembroke Middle School, and I will be presenting The Heart and the Fist by Rudy Francisco. I hope you enjoy. On average, the Mexican government confiscates 30,000 illegal firearms per year. When the guns are taken, they get dismantled, and the metals are used to make other types of weapons that will later be utilized by the military. In 2012, Pedro Reyes, an artist from Mexico City, convinced his government to donate the guns to him, and he turned them into musical instruments. So somewhere out there, there's a tambourine, a drum set, and a guitar, all made from things that were used to take people's lives, but now they create a sound that puts life back into people's bodies, which is to say that a weapon will always be a weapon, but we choose how we fight the war. And from this, I learned that even the most destructive of instruments can still create a melody worth dancing to. And sometimes, don't we all call that a battle? I wonder how long it took to convince the first rifle that it could hold a note instead of a bullet, but still fire into a crowd and make everybody move. You see, when I was 6, I was taught how to throw a punch because that was the anti-bullying movement of the 80s. So I remember the first time one of my classmates took a yo mama joke a little too far. I remembered my training. So I turned his nose into a fountain, my fist 5 pennies. I closed my eyes, made a wish, and I came home with bloody knuckles, and it was the first piece of artwork my family hung on our fridge. I remember staring at my hands the same way you stare at a midterm when all your answers are correct. I didn't know what class this was, but I did know I was passing. And isn't that what masculinity has become? A bunch of dudes afraid of their own feelings, terrified of any emotion that's not anger, constantly yelling at the shadows on the wall, but failing to realize that we are the ones standing in front of the light. We learn to dodge a jab. We learn to step in before we swing. We learn that the heart is the same size as the fist, but we keep forgetting that they don't have the same function. We keep telling each other to man up when we don't even know what that means. We turn our boys into bayonets. We point them in the wrong direction. We pull their triggers, and we just fail to recognize all the damage that they're doing in the distance. The word repurpose means to take an object and give it amnesia, to make it forget what it was originally purposed to do so you can use it for a better reason. I am learning that this body of mine is not a shotgun. I am learning that this body of mine is not a pistol. I am learning that a man is not defined by what he can destroy, and I am learning that a person who only knows how to fight can only communicate in violence, and violence should never be anyone's first language. And I am learning that the difference between a garden and a graveyard is only what you choose to put in the ground. You see, once I came across this picture of a strange-looking violin, and the caption said that it was made out of a rifle. And I thought to myself, someday, that could be me. Thank you.
I better stay on Mukun's good side. I don't want my nose turned to a fountain. Whew. Next up, we have Pradyun Srinivasan, 7th grader from Penfield Middle School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pradyun, and I'm a 7th grader at Penfield Middle School. Tonight, I will be reciting an excerpt from a speech entitled The Other America, written by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want to use as a title for my lecture tonight, The Other America. And I use this title because there are literally two Americas. Every city in our country has this kind of dualism, the schizophrenia, split at so many parts. And so every city ends up being two cities rather than one. There are two Americas. One America is beautiful for situation. In this America, millions of people have the milk of prosperity and the honey of equality flowing before them. This America is the habitat of millions of people who have food and material necessities for their bodies, culture and education for their minds, freedom and human dignity for their spirits. In this America, children grow up in the sunlight of opportunity. But there is another America. This other America has a daily ugliness about it that transforms the buoyancy of hope into the fatigue of despair. In this America, men walk the streets in search for jobs that do not exist. In this America, millions of people are forced to live in distressing housing conditions. In this America, thousands of young people are deprived of an opportunity to get an adequate education. Every year, thousands of people finish high school reading at a 7th, 8th, and sometimes 9th grade level. Not because they're dumb, not because they don't have the native intelligence, but because the schools are so inadequate, so overcrowded, so devoid of quality, so segregated, if you will, that the best in these minds can never come out. Probably the most critical problem in the other America is the economic problem. There are so many people in the other America that can never make ends meet because their incomes are far too low, if they have incomes, and their jobs are so devoid of quality. And so in this other America, unemployment is a reality. So the vast majority of Negroes in America find themselves perishing on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. This has caused a great deal of bitterness. It has caused ache and anguish. These are the conditions that cause individuals to feel that they don't have any other alternative than to engage in violent rebellions to get attention. And I must say tonight that a riot is the language of the unheard. So what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last 12 or 15 years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice and humanity. We will never solve the problem of racism until there is a recognition of the fact that racism still stands at the center of so much of our nation. And we must see racism for what it is. It is the nymph of an inferior people. It is the notion that one group has all of the knowledge, all of the insights, all of the work, all of the purity, all of the dignity. And another group is worthless, on a lower level of humanity, inferior. Racism is based on an ontological affirmation. It is the notion that the very being of a people is inferior. And we've got to see that this still exists in American society. And until it's removed, there will be people walking the streets of life and living in their humble dwellings, feeling that they are nobody, feeling that they have no dignity, and feeling that they are not respected. The first thing that must be on the agenda of our nation is to get rid of racism. Thank you.
Let's check our calendars and readjust our agendas, because you heard them. Now can we have Sanvi Wagmare from Penfield Middle School in grade 7.
Hello, my name is Sanvi Wagmare, and I'm a 7th grade student from Penfield Middle School. Tonight, I would love to recite a speech by Viola Davis from the Safeway Foundation named Hunger. I hope you enjoy. You know, childhood is the first thing that poverty takes away from a child. And I know that because I was one of the children that was the 1 in 5. I was the 1 in 17 million. I grew up in abject poverty in Central Falls, Rhode Island. My mother, she had an 8th grade education, and my father had a 5th grade education. I spent the majority of my childhood being raised in condemned buildings infested with rats. I was a child that went to bed hungry every single night. And you know what it motivated me to do? A child who had enormous amounts of intelligence and integrity and imagination. It encouraged me to steal food. It encouraged me to jump in dumpsters infested with maggots for food. And it even encouraged me to befriend people who I knew had mothers that cooked them 3 meals a day. It encouraged me to befriend them so I could go over to their house and have a meal. I believe that the desperation of hunger fills a child with so much shame, and they don't have the voice to say help. You know, I'm on many red carpets all the time, and I'm constantly motivated by that child. You know, sometimes she's strong, and she inspires me. And sometimes she's weak, the same way she was growing up in Central Falls. She's inside me, hiding, cowering. And sometimes I feel like in situations like this, which it is my honor to be here, she encourages me to help her and to help children who are like her, like me. You know, the great Muhammad Ali once said that service is the price you pay to take up space here on earth. And I find it is incredible where you find the presence of God. And it's in this room here tonight with these 2,000-3,000 people who all have a passion to end something as simple as hunger? In this country? In one of the greatest countries in the world that was formed under the ethos of one nation under God. I believe that in our lifetime, we can see an eradication of hunger in children. And as for myself, it is not what I have, but it is what I do that is my kingdom. That I offer myself in service. I offer the little girl growing up in Central Falls with the pigtails, who always stole the ice creams and the Suzy Q's from the corner store. I'm constantly motivated by her. And hopefully in your minds, you can see her. And you are constantly motivated by her too. It was my honor to be here to share Viola Davis's story with you all, so thank you.
Another astonishing performance to add to this historic night. Next up, we have Camellia Coe, 7th grader from Penfield Middle School.
Hello, my name is Camellia Coe, and I am an 8th grader at Pembroke Middle School. Today, I will be presenting the poem To the Woman I Saw Today Who Wept in Her Car by Bianca Lynn Spriggs. Woman, I get it. We are strangers, but I know that the heart is a hive, and someone has knocked yours from its high branch in your chest, and now it lays cracked and splayed, spilling honey all over the ground floor of your gut. And the bees inside that you've trained over the days, the years, to stay put, swarm the terrain of your organs. Yes, right here in traffic while we wait for the light to change. I get it, how this array of metal and plastic tends to go womb room once the door shuts. And maybe you were singing just moments before you got that call, or remember that thing that you had tucked back and built such sturdy scaffolding all around. And now here it comes, to knock you adrift with only your steering wheel to hold you up. Or maybe today was just a tough day, and the sunlight, and warm weather, and blossoming limbs, and smiling pedestrians waiting for their turn to cross are just too much to take when you think of all that's left to do, and here you are, a reed, stuck in the mud of a rush hour intersection, with so very many hours left to go. Woman, I know you. I know how that thing, when left unattended, will show up as a typhoon at your front door, and demanding to be let in, it will take down the whole house with it. I know this place too. I get it. But because we are strangers, because you did not see me see you, my gaze has no more effect than a phantom that stares at the living. But I want you to know that today, in the hive of my heart, there is room enough for you. And in my heart, a girl on a brightly lit stage stating a speech that was written by someone else. To the women who weep in their cars but are unaware that just outside, there's someone outside the window who is waiting for you to look outside and realize you're not alone. I get it. To the men who drive for miles wondering what went wrong, everything that could have gone better. How can I ever fix this? I get it. To the children who, though not in the front seat, sit in the back seat, look outside the shimmering window and wonder, will I have a better future, a better life? Will I even be loved tomorrow? I get it. To all those all around and in between, who, like everyone at some point in their lives, will sit in their car and wait for the traffic to pass. In the hive of my heart, stranger or not, there will always, always be room enough for you. Thank you.
I love the reminder that we are all not alone. Lastly, in group 2, from Pembroke Middle School in grade 8, we have Ria Shankar.
Hi, my name is Ria Shankar, and I will be presenting excerpts from a speech called How Long, Not Long, given by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1965 in Montgomery, Alabama. Last Sunday, more than 8,000 of us started on a mighty walk from Selma, Alabama. We have walked through desolate valleys and across the trying hills. Some of our faces are burned from the outpourings of the sweltering sun. Our bodies are tired and our feet are somewhat sore. But today, as I stand before you and think back over that great march, I can say, as Sister Pollard said, who lived in this community during the bus boycott. And one day she was asked while walking if she didn't want to ride. And when she said no, the person said, "Well, aren't you tired?" And with her ungrammatical profundity, she said, "My feet is tired, but my soul is rested." And in a real sense this afternoon, we can say that our feet are tired, but our souls are rested. The climactic conflicts always were fought and won on Alabama soil, but not until the colossus of segregation was challenged in Birmingham did the conscience of America begin to bleed. Our whole campaign in Alabama has been centered around the right to vote. In focusing the attention of the nation and the world today on the flagrant denial of the right to vote, we are exposing the very origin, the root cause of racial segregation in the Southland. Today, I want to tell the people of America and nations of the world that we are not about to turn around. We are on the move now. We are moving to the land of freedom. And so, let us therefore continue our triumphant march to the realization of the American dream. Let us march on segregated housing until every ghetto or social and economic depression dissolves. Let us march on segregated schools until every vestige of segregated and inferior education becomes a thing of the past. Let us march on poverty until no American parent has to skip a meal so that their children may eat. Let us march on ballot boxes until the salient misdeeds of bloodthirsty mobs will be transformed into the calculated good deeds of orderly citizens. My people, listen. The battle is in our hands in Mississippi and Alabama and all over the United States. I know there is a cry today in Alabama. We see it in numerous editorials. When will Martin Luther King and all of these civil rights agitators and all of the white clergymen and labor leaders and students and others get out of our community and let Alabama return to normalcy? But I have a message that I would like to leave with Alabama this evening. That is exactly what we don't want, and we will not allow it to happen. It was normalcy on Highway 80 that led state troopers to use tear gas and horses and billy clubs against unarmed human beings who were simply marching for justice. It was normalcy by a cafe in Selma, Alabama, that led to the brutal beating of Reverend James Reeb. No, we will not allow Alabama to return to normalcy. The only normalcy that we will fight for is the normalcy that recognizes the dignity and worth of all of God's children. The only normalcy that we will settle for is the normalcy of brotherhood, the normalcy of true peace, the normalcy of justice. And so, let us go away more than ever before committed to this struggle and committed to nonviolence. I must admit to you that there are still some difficult days ahead. But if we will go on with the faith that nonviolence and its power can transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows, we will be able to change all of these conditions. I know you are asking today, how long will it take? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed to the earth will rise again. How long? Not long, because no lie can live forever. How long? Not long, because you shall reap what you sow. How long? Not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rhea, and the rest of Group 2. Can we get another round of applause for them, please? Starting with Group 3, we have Badra Dinesh from Penndale Middle School in grade 9.
Hi, my name is Badr Dinesh, and I will be saying an excerpt from Barack Obama's Yes We Can speech. And with your voices and your votes, you have made it clear that at this moment in this election, there is something happening in America. There is something happening in America when men and women in Des Moines and Davenport, in Lebanon and Concord, come out in the snows of January and wait in lines that stretch block after block because they believe in what this country can be. There is something happening. There is something happening when Americans who are young in age and in spirit, who have never participated in politics before, turn out in numbers we have never seen because they know in their hearts that this time must be different. There's something happening when people vote not just for the party that they belong to, but for the hopes that they hold in common. And whether we are rich or poor, black or white, Latino or Asian, whether we hail from Iowa or Nevada, South Carolina or New Hampshire, we are ready to take this country in a fundamentally new direction. That's what's happening in America right now. Change is what's happening in America. Our new American majority can end the outrage of unaffordable, unavailable healthcare in our time. We can bring doctors and patients, workers and businesses, Democrats and Republicans together. And we can tell the drug and insurance industry that while they get a seat at the table, they do not get to buy every chair. Not this time, not now. Our new majority can end the tax breaks for corporations that ship our jobs overseas and put a middle-class tax cut in the pockets of working Americans who deserve it. We can stop sending our children to schools with corridors of shame and start putting them on a pathway to success. We can stop talking about how great teachers are and start rewarding them for their greatness by giving them more pay and more support. We can do this with our new majority. We can harness the ingenuity of farmers and scientists, citizens and entrepreneurs to free this nation from the tyranny of oil and save our planet from a point of no return. And when I am President of the United States, we will end this war in Iraq and we will bring our troops home. We will end this war in Iraq. We will bring our troops home. We will finish the job. We will finish the job against Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. We will care for our veterans. We will restore our moral standing in the world. And we will never use 9/11 as a way to scare up votes, because it is not a tactic to win an election. It is a challenge that should unite America and the world against the common threats of the 21st century. Terrorism and nuclear weapons, climate change and poverty, genocide and disease. We know the battle ahead will be long, but always remember that no matter what obstacles stand in our way, nothing can stand in the way of the power of millions of voices calling for change. We have been told we cannot do this by a chorus of cynics, and they will only grow louder and more dissonant in the weeks and months to come. We have been asked to pause for a reality check. We've been warned against offering the people of this nation false hope. But in the unlikely story that is America, there has never been anything false about hope. For when we've reached impossible odds, for when we've been told that we can't try or that we shouldn't try, generations of Americans have responded with a simple creed that sums up a spirit of a people. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It was a creed written in the founding documents that declared the destiny of a nation. Yes, we can. It was whispered by slaves and abolitionists as they blazed a trail towards the darkest of nights. Yes, we can. It was sung by immigrants as they struck out from distant shores and pioneers who pushed westward against an unforgiving wilderness. Yes, we can. It was the call of workers who organized, women who reached for the ballot, a president who chose the moon as our new frontier, and a king who pointed to the mountaintop and took us to the promised land. Yes, we can, for justice and equality. Yes, we can, for opportunity and prosperity. Yes, we can heal this nation. Yes, we can repair the world. Yes, we can. Together, we will begin the next great chapter in the American story with 3 words that will ring from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea. Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yes, we can, and yes, we will. Thank you for that inspiring message, Badra. For our next performance, we have Molly Devine, 9th grader from Penndale Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Molly Devine, and tonight I will be performing for you Ain't I a Woman, a speech by Sojourner Truth delivered at the 1851 Women's Convention in Akron, Ohio. Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Africans of the South and the women of the North, all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this you're talking about? That little man in the back there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches, and to have the best place everywhere. No one ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles, or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arms. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could heed me. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen most all sold to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Now they talk about this thing in the head. What's this they call it? Intellect. That's it, honey. What's this got to do with women's rights or Africans' rights? If my cup won't hold but a pint and yours holds a quart, wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? Now, that little man in the back there says that women can't have as much rights as men because Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down on her own, then these women together ought to be able to get it back and get it right side up again. And now they is asking to. The men better let them. Obliged to you for hearing me. Now old Sojourner ain't got nothing more to say. Thank you.
And just so we're sure, I'm not the little man in the back. Can we have Noku Ganya from Penfield Middle School in the 9th grade?
I will be reading a poem by Amanda Gorman called An Ode We Owe, read at the UN General Assembly Monday, September 19th, 2022. UN Secretary General, distinguished guest, and all of humankind, how can I ask you to do good when we've barely withstood our greatest threats yet? The depths of death, despair, and disparity, atrocities across cities, towns, and countries, lives lost, climactic, cost. Exhausted, angered, we are endangered not because of our numbers, but because of our numbness. We are strangers to one another's perils and pain, unaware that the welfare of the public and the planet share a name. Equality doesn't mean being the exact same, but enacting a vast aim, the good of the world to its highest capability. The wise believe that our people without power leaves our planet without possibility. Therefore, though poverty is a poor existence, complicity is a poor excuse. We must go the distance, though this battle is hard and huge, though this fight we did not choose. For preserving the earth isn't a battle too large to win, but a blessing too large to lose. This is the most pressing truth, that our people have only one planet to call home, and our planet has only one people to call its own. We can either divide and be conquered by few, or we can decide to conquer the future and say that today, a new dawn we wrote, say that as long as we have humanity, we will forever have hope. Together, we won't just be a generation that tries, but a generation that triumphs. So let us see a legacy where tomorrow is not driven by human condition, but by our human conviction. And while hope alone can't save us now, with it we can brave the now, because our hardest challenge hinges on our darkest challenges. Thus may our crisis be our cry, the oldest ode we owe each other. We chime it for the climate, for our communities. We shall respect and protect every part of this planet. Hand it to every heart on this earth until no one is rendered by race, class, or identity. They were born. This morn let it be sworn that we are one human kin, grounded not just by our griefs we bear, but by the good we began. To anyone out there, I ask that you care before it is too late, that you live aware and awake, that you lead with love in hours of hate. I challenge you to heed this call. I dare you to shape our fate. Above all, I dare you to do good so this world might be great.
What a powerful message. Last but not least, we have our final performer from Penfield Middle School in the 9th grade, Olu Omiyale.
Hello, everyone. My name is Olu Omiyale, and I'll be reciting the poem In This Place, an American Lyric by Amanda Gorman. There's a poem in this place, in the footfalls, in the halls, in the quiet beat of the seats. It is here at the curtain of day, where America writes a lyric you must whisper to say. There's a poem in this place, in the heavy grace, the lined face of this noble building, collections burned and reborn twice. There's a poem in Boston's Copley Square where protest chants tear through the air like sheets of rain, where love of the many swallows hatred of the few. There's a poem in Charlottesville where tiki torches string a ring of flame tight round the wrist of night, where men so white they gleam blue seem like statues, where men heap that long wax burning ever higher, where heather higher blooms forever in a meadow of resistance. There's a poem in the great sleeping giant of Lake Michigan, defiantly raising its big blue head to Milwaukee and Chicago, a poem begun long ago, blazed into frozen soil, striding upward and aglow. There's a poem in Florida, in East Texas, where streets swell into a nexus of rivers, cows afloat like mottled buoys in the brown, where courage is now so common that 23-year-old Jesus Contreras rescues people from floodwaters. There's a lyric in California where a single mother swelters in a windowless classroom, teaching Black and brown students in Watts to spell out their thoughts so her daughter might write this poem for you. There's a lyric in California where thousands of students march for blocks, undocumented and unafraid, where my friend Rosa finds the power to blossom in deadlock, her spirit the bedrock of her community. She knows hope is like a stubborn ship gripping a dock, a truth that you can't stop a dreamer or knock down a dream. How could this not be her city? Su Nacion, our country, our America, our American lyric to write. A poem by the people, the poor, the Protestant, the Muslim, the Jew, the Black, the brown, the blind, the brave, the undocumented and undeterred, the woman, the man, the non-binary, the white, the trans, the ally to all of the above and more. Tyrants fear the poet. Now that we know it, we can't blow it. We owe it to show it, not slow it. Although it hurts to sow it when the world skirts below it. Hope, we must bestow it like a wick in the poet so it can grow lit, bringing with it stories to rewrite. The story of a Texas city depleted but not defeated. A history written that need not be repeated. A nation composed but not yet completed. There's a poem in this place. A poem in America, a poet in every American who rewrites this nation, who tells a story worthy of being told on this minnow of an earth, to breathe hope into a palimpsest of time. A poet in every American who sees that our poems penned doesn't mean our poems end. There's a place where this poem dwells. It is here, it is now, in the yellow song of Dawn's Bell, where we write an American lyric we are just beginning to tell. Thank you.
Wow, Malachi, what a strong way to end the night. What do you think about all these performances?
I think they're amazing, inspiring, and so breathtaking how all these students can get up here and perform in front of all of you. That takes a lot of courage.
I definitely agree. I don't think, if I was their ages, I don't think I would even be up here.
Me either.
Yeah.
Now for the presentation of awards. I think, Dr. Waters, right? Okay, cool. Now for the presentation of awards, can we have my old principal, Dr. Waters, the assistant superintendent,
and David Hume, the school climate coordinator.
Ooh, that light is bright. Yes. All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Deanna Waters. I'm the assistant superintendent, and yes, I was the former principal for both of those MCs, so can we give them a round of applause? They did an excellent job. It's always great to see your former students doing great things. All right, so tonight we always, we have the best part. We get to announce the winners. I know that I could not get up here and do what they did and the way they memorized all of these speeches, just so courageous, so confident, but all of them are winners. So we are going to recognize some of the students as our third, second, and first place, but they all did an excellent job. And so if we could give all of the students one more round of applause. I also, before we do that, I know the judges are wrapping up and it is electronic, so I should have the information very soon. I do want to just let you know that Dr. Bauer, our superintendent, does want you to know that he's sorry to miss tonight. He did have a conflict. This is one of his favorite events, and he is usually here. I think this is the first time he is not. But I wanted to just let you know that if he did not have a commitment, he'd be here with us as well. All right, how'd it go? Everybody feel good? You're done? When I count to 3, can you all take a bow? 1, 2, 3. Woo! You did it. All right, judges, I know it was a tough decision. All right, we're waiting for the big reveal. Do you want to tell a joke, Mr. Young?
Sorry, I don't know any. We appreciate that.
We can do that. We can keep clapping. I will say while I'm up here, since we have a minute or two, and I know they probably won't thank themselves when they close out tonight, but I do want to thank the tri-chairs for this event. Dave Yum, he's an SCC at 2 of our elementary schools. Dr. Marjorie Dieg, assistant principal of Penndale. I don't know where she is. This light is, where is she? There she is over here getting the scores together. And Mrs. Regina Powell, who's the reading specialist at North Wales Elementary. She usually sends me a text. Okay, is it, all right, it's here. Okay, all right, I will start and then I'll turn it over to you, Dave, and you can announce some as well. All right, so we're gonna start with group 1. So if you were in group 1, my 3rd through 5th graders, can you give me a wave? All right, we're gonna do you first. You ready? All right, here we go. Okay. In 3rd place, if I call your name, just step out a little bit, okay? In 3rd place, Aniska Patel from Culp Elementary. In 2nd place, Arushi Desai from Montgomery. And our 1st place winner, I'm going to assume she's from North Wales. In 5th grade. Okay, yes, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. From Northbridge, Danielle Shalala. Woo! Congratulations. All right, you want to do group 2?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Group 2 for grades 6th through 8th, we have in 3rd place, Camellia Coe from Pembroke. Woo! And in 2nd place, from Pembroke, Ria Shankar. And in 1st place, Makun Manakandan from Pembroke. Wow, Pembroke really cleaned up.
And he won 1st place last year in his division, right? Okay, doing it again. You're gonna be like the Eagles, like, right? You're gonna try, okay, all right, good job. Okay.
All right. And in group 3 for grade 9, in 3rd place we have Badra Dinesh from Penndale. And we actually have a tie for 2nd place. We have my former 2nd grade student, Noku Kanya Lovu from Penfield.
Yeah. I know her.
Yes.
She used to go to Nash.
And Molly Devine from Penndale.
Congratulations.
And in 1st place, we have Alumide Amayel from Penfield. Congratulations.
All right, so just so you all know, you will be getting certificates. All of you will get a certificate for doing such an excellent job tonight. And then for our winners, I think you're going to be getting a certificate and a little something extra, maybe a gift card?
Yes.
Yes? A gift card to somewhere good. I don't know where. All right, one more round of applause. Thank you so much. All right, and to close us out, Mrs. Regina Powell.
Wow, what a spectacular night. I'm always so impressed by our participants. Our students' words, poise, stage presence, and orating skills are second to none. Tonight, we gathered to honor and celebrate the voices that have shaped the course of history, as well as those who continue to inspire hope, courage, and resilience in us all. From the powerful words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose dream of equality and justice continues to guide us, to the stirring verses of Amanda Gorman, whose poetry reminds us of the strength in unity and perseverance. We remember the timeless wisdom of Maya Angelou, whose words, "Still I Rise," resonate across generations, and the leadership of Barack Obama, whose hope-filled words have shown us the power of collective action. Tonight was not just a celebration of the past, it's a night of hope for the future. From the civil rights movement to the present day, these voices have fought not only for justice, but for the hope that a better tomorrow is possible. As we reflect on the strides we've made and the challenges still ahead, we are reminded that the power of words, of oratory, of vision, can change the world. Let us use this to reflect and be inspired. This night echoes with the voices of leaders, dreamers, and change makers, past and present. Let us be motivated to rise higher. Thank you for joining us for the 2025 Black History Oratorical Competition, a night of history, hope, and unyielding determination. Have a great night. Thank you to all the judges and NPTV. This night could not have happened without you.
One last thing, parents, I know you're excited. We're going to keep the kids for 2 or 3 minutes, take some photos, and then you can bum rush the stage and take photos yourself.